Welcome back to the Deep Dives. Today, we are just immersing ourselves in this really rich, complicated world of ancient faith, forgotten prophecies, and, well, some huge political pressure. Our whole focus is on the Sion Trinity, this ultimate power source, and the man, the gatekeeper, who is reluctantly being forced right into the epicenter of this massive spiritual and political event.
And our sources for this deep dive are they're truly foundational. We've got a stack of intelligence reports, but they're fused with excerpts from the ancient Trinity of Zion manuscripts themselves.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and these texts, you have to understand, were recorded by the Agarthan Empire. They captured a faith system that is way, way older than the current kingdom of Midrol.
So we're really going back to the beginning.
We're digging into the very spiritual DNA of this world.
Okay, so our mission here is pretty ambitious. We need to unpack the terrifying power that's locked inside the Sion Trinity.
Right, and identify its protectors, the Trion Titans.
Exactly, the Trion Titans. And also establish the immediate, very high-stakes context of this impending trial of the creators.
And at the center of it all is General Marcus Alistair,
The gatekeeper, the last surviving Sion Trinity guardian, who has just been given a mandatory, a totally non-negotiable directive.
And that directive, it really forces us to start right at the beginning, the faith's origins.
Where did it all come from?
Well, the Scions of Sion, they first rose up when early hunters had to unite against this terrifying threat, the Death Walkers.
Truly malevolent beings, from what the sources say.
Absolutely. They threatened all early life. So the texts they created, the Trinity of Sion, were channeled through these beings they called the architects.
The architects. They were seen as heralds of the true unseen creators, right?
Exactly. So the architects established the faith, but their manuscripts are famously ambiguous.
I was just going to say, they're not exactly straightforward. They're treated like a holy book, but our sources say they leave a huge amount to the imagination.
Which is, of course, perfect for a clergy that's looking to wield some power.
Of course.
But what is not vague is the description of the central figure, the gatekeeper.
Okay.
This being is written as the guardian of the Sion Trinity, an artifact that can literally rewrite reality. The gatekeeper's power is this ability to transcend the veils of existence.
So walking through different planes, parallel universes, that's what...
Precisely. He's the only one confirmed to hold the key to actually merging these separate realities.
What's so fascinating to me is how these manuscripts all seem to center on the gatekeeper's adolescence. It suggests even this, reality-bending being doesn't start out fully formed.
That's a great point. And there are 4 books, each written by one of the eternal avatars, and each one corresponds to a fundamental element of existence.
Okay, so we have the Book of Forrester by Riken. That's the eternal avatar of nature.
Right, representing the world's underlying structure. Then there's the Book of Seraphine by Alice, the avatar of water governing memory, fluidity, flow.
And the Book of Scirocco by Audrey, avatar of wind. So, movement, change.
Communication, swift change, exactly.
But that 4th book, the Book of Destin, that's the real mystery at the heart of the Trinity, isn't it?
It is. It was written by Zexodaros, the eternal avatar of fire. But he's known as more than just fire. He's the destroyer.
And the sources say very little of it even remains.
Almost nothing. And it's believed only the gatekeeper can truly reclaim it.
Which really highlights that duality you mentioned.
It's the core of it all. Zexodaros is the destroyer who brings new life. The Trinity's original purpose was creation and destruction. It was meant to be a cosmic reset button, a tool for necessary renewal.
But like any ultimate power,
it becomes the source of humanity's deepest greed for power, for wealth. It completely corrupts its original function.
And that corruption starts with something physical, right?
Yeah.
The keys to the legend.
The Sion Trinity pendant key.
Yeah.
And it isn't one single item.
It's 3 pieces.
3 distinct pieces of enchanted gold, each one containing a blessed mineral: emerald, sapphire, and ruby. These 3 pieces are the literal, tangible keys.
And this leads us straight into the Lost Legend of 3. This whole structure of trios that the Guardian's faith is built on.
It really is. It's like the rule of 3, but for metaphysics.
So lay it out for us. What are the key trios the Trion Titans were sworn to protect?
Okay, so at the highest level, you've got the 3 existences or blessings: earth, which is emerald, fire, which is ruby, and water, which is sapphire.
Okay.
Then you have the 3 holy ties of the faith: Father, Son, and Spirit.
Okay.
Functionally, there are 3 artifacts you need: the pendant, the ring, and the bangle. And finally, the conduits of cosmic will and war, the 3 divine weapons:
the blade, the axe, and the spear.
the blade, the axe, and the spear.
And these weapons, I mean, this is the most unnerving part, they actually contain the souls of the three godheads who created humanity.
They do. They act as the very hands of creation and destruction. They aren't just tools. They're more like extensions of fundamental cosmic laws.
So we're talking about the blade of the water mind.
The god of truth and information. Then there's the lance of the fire soul, who is the god of faith, spirituality, and ether.
And the axe of the earth body, the god of life, love, creativity, and essence.
Exactly.
Let's pause on ether and essence for a second. Those sound pretty abstract, even for this universe. What do they actually represent?
Good question. So in this context, aether is the spiritual energy. It's the realm of thought, belief, the non-physical plane. You could call it the soul stuff of the universe.
Okay, the soul stuff. I like that.
Yeah. And essence, on the other hand, is the physical life force. It's the energy of creativity of biological life itself.
So these weapons harness truth, the spiritual plane, and the physical plane.
Precisely. And when they're combined, the legend says they grant the ultimate power to create and destroy.
If these relics can literally define reality, what happens when they're misused? The sources point to a pretty major historical event.
A tragedy, really. During the Kaiser Wars of the East, a failure that still haunts the Sion Titans as an organization.
What happened?
A comrade betrayed the three reigning commanders. That was Ewan Alistair, Trevor DeMach, and Jack Bruce. And he managed to get all three pendant pieces. He merged their power.
And the result was called the World's End.
Yes, and this is where you get the most chilling insight into the Sion Trinity's true nature. The sources are very specific that the power was not used for total destruction.
It was used for torture. Hell on earth.
A terrifying distinction, isn't it? The power wasn't used to erase, but to eternally maintain suffering.
So it fulfilled the prophecy in the most twisted way possible.
The most perverse way. It kept everything on the brink of extinction without actually erasing a single soul. So the failure wasn't just losing the artifacts, it was confirming that this power, if corrupted, could define suffering as a permanent state of existence.
And that betrayal just shattered their leadership.
Created a permanent scar on the Titans, yeah.
Which brings us crashing right back to the present day. To the man left dealing with the legacy of that failure, Marcus Alistair.
Last surviving Sion Trinity Guardian, he inherited the title of Sion Titans Commanding General when his father, Ewan Alistair, just disappeared.
That inheritance part is so crucial. And his background, too. He's a Nephilim.
Right, which the texts note is why he has such a high tolerance for alcohol. But more than that, being a Nephilim implies this dual nature, you know, part celestial, part mortal.
Which might explain why he's so resistant to the zealous demands of the clergy.
I think so. He's inherited both the title and a massive existential hangover.
So while Marcus is dealing with that, preparations for his dreaded pilgrimage are already underway. We see this really vital scene in Jack Bruce's workshop.
Yeah, Jack, one of the original commanders who was betrayed, he's passing on this high-level practical knowledge of forging to a young man named Simon.
This is critical stuff, right? Not just basic blacksmithing.
Oh no, this is soul magic forging. It's the kind of kill-or-be-killed knowledge that was essential during the Kaiser Wars. They're using soul gems as a catalyst for these constructs called shadowmen.
And they're using a very specific technique, imbuement, with something called blood shards. What are those?
Blood shards are, they're essentially crystallized liquid, a kind of refined spiritual essence from vampires.
From vampires, of course.
It's incredibly potent stuff. Normally, vampires use it to solidify their own spiritual influence, create thralls. But here, they're using it as a raw, concentrated material for soul stones and imbuement.
It sounds like a dark necessity.
It reflects the grim, pragmatic reality the Sion Titans had to adopt to survive. Vance, who is a vampire himself, is actually helping by providing the components.
And the test works. Simon forges a weapon for Vance, the Shining Piercer.
He does. It's imbued with the soul of a beast, glowing with this charred blue sheen. I mean, this isn't just craftsmanship. It's an application of reality-bending power, forged under immense pressure.
And that act of creation brings us back to the philosophy of the Scions of Sion, their core belief in a form of order in nature.
Exactly. This order dictates that basic needs have to be fulfilled before any wants can be pursued, that natural law rules everything.
Which creates this immediate, very obvious tension with Marcus's reality, doesn't it?
Huge tension.
The Scions believe in leadership by expertise, not by inheritance or wealth. Yet Marcus, our reluctant Nephilim, is the commanding general purely because he inherited it from his father.
And that tension is about to just explode. Because Jack delivers the hammer blow, A formal directive has come down from the Temple of the Creators, from the clergy of Sion.
And what do they want?
They are calling upon the gatekeeper Marcus to undergo the trial of the creators, the labyrinth of trials.
The political maneuvering here is it's paramount. The source material says this is a clear move to regain favor with the Friesenites. Who are they?
The Friesenites are described as a major, powerful, neutral faction, probably a vital trade partner, maybe a military ally, whose support the clergy needs to solidify their own political base against their rivals.
So forcing Marcus, the military figurehead, to go on a spiritual pilgrimage.
It serves two purposes. It asserts the clergy's spiritual authority over the military titans, and it showcases piety to the Friesenites. He has to go to the temple and speak with the head father of Sion.
And Marcus's reaction is pretty much what you'd expect.
Oh, yeah.
He calls it torture my spirit and asks why he has to protect the dark secrets of that rotten temple.
He sees them for what they are, not spiritual guides, but manipulative political operators.
And Jack, ever the pragmatist, basically agrees with him, but urges him to comply.
Yeah, Jack tells him they have to put up with some discomfort because the priests hold much sway with the people. It's this acknowledgement that even the titans who hold the real power still have to bow to public opinion, which the clergy controls.
So after this bitter exchange, Marcus agrees. He sets his departure for 3 months from now.
A tight time frame. It's meant to give him a window to find one more crucial recruit for his allies before he has to leave his post.
And this is where Uncle Jack's strategic brilliance just shines. He sees the clergy's mandate not as a problem, but as a huge PR opportunity.
A spectacular one. His counterplan is to host a massive local tournament for the Guardians of Sion right at their own Dune Prowlers compound.
A tournament. He's taking this sacred, politically motivated pilgrimage and using it as a pretext for a giant recruiting drive.
Exactly. He's turning a solemn rite into a strategic recruitment fair.
That's brilliant.
It secures Marcus's last ally while also generating massive public goodwill and political favor for them. Jack takes the required act and just completely manipulates the narrative. He shifts the focus from the clergy's spiritual dominance to the Trion Titan's military strength.
So we're leaving Marcus with this almost impossible balancing act. He's inherited a role he hates, he's got a 3-month deadline, and he's caught between military strategy and manipulative politics.
All of it revolving around the Sion Trinity, the corrupted ultimate power for creation and destruction.
Which brings us to our final provocative thought, and it's rooted in the Sion's own philosophy.
Right. Their belief system says that a new order is not something that is negative or controlling. It is simply the need for change through the evolution of things, with representatives of expertise and not inherited because of wealth.
So given that Marcus inherited his generalship and he's so resistant to this trial of the creators, what fundamental conflict does this pilgrimage really represent? Is it truly an evolution of order?
Or is it just another way for the ruling structure to exert control over a powerful individual who inherited his station, all disguised as a spiritual quest? You have to ask yourself whether the system's professed needs are genuinely aligned with the clergy's political wants.